The galaxy was wide and endless, filled with millions of stars. But in the middle of all that light, a lonely outpost floated in silence. It was an old station, half broken, once used for trade, but now forgotten by most travelers. Dust and silence filled its halls, until the day a young human named Aaron landed there. Aaron was not a soldier, not a great hero. He was just an explorer searching for places others had abandoned. He liked mysteries. He liked the feeling of walking where no one had walked for many years. His ship was small, old, but it carried him far. On this day, it carried him to the station where destiny was waiting. The air inside the station was cold and heavy. Lights flickered weakly. Shadows stretched across broken walls. Aaron walked carefully, his hand on the side of his blaster. But he did not fire. He only listened. And then he heard it. Soft footsteps, not his own. At first, he thought it was only an echo, but then he saw her. She stepped out from behind a metal doorway, and in that moment, Aaron forgot how to breathe. She was not human. Her skin glowed faintly, like silver touched by starlight. Her eyes were large, deep, holding something he could not understand. Her hair floated gently, as if moved by invisible winds. She looked fragile and strong at the same time. Aaron froze. His first thought was to raise his weapon. But something inside stopped him. She did not look like an enemy. She looked lost, alone. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence felt endless. Then Aaron said the first words that came to his mind. "You are beautiful," he whispered. The words hung in the air, heavier than he expected. He thought maybe she would smile, maybe she would laugh. But instead, her entire body went still. Her eyes widened, and something like fear passed across her face. Aaron felt his heart beat faster. "Did I say something wrong?" he asked carefully. Her voice was soft, almost broken. "Do you know what you have done?" Aaron shook his head slowly. "I only told the truth." But she stepped back, as if his words were fire. Her hand pressed against her chest, and he saw faint glowing lines spreading across her skin. They pulsed like veins of light, awakening from a deep sleep. "No one," she whispered. "No one must call me that." Aaron frowned, confused. "Why not?" "You are beautiful." Her eyes locked on his, and for the first time, Aaron saw the storm inside them. It was not anger. It was fear, pain, and something dangerous. "You don't understand," she said. "In my world, beauty is not a gift. It is a curse. Those words you spoke, they awaken what should never be awakened." The ground trembled slightly. The lights above them flickered harder. Aaron looked around, feeling something stir within the walls. "What's happening?" he asked. She shook her head quickly. "You should not be here. You should run." But Aaron did not move. He could not leave her, not when she looked so afraid and so alone. Something deep inside told him that his life had just changed forever. "I'm not leaving you," he said firmly. Her lips parted as if she wanted to argue. But then the sound of heavy boots echoed down the hall. Aaron turned sharply. His hand went to his blaster. Shadows moved. Lights reflected off metal armor. Her face filled with panic. "They found me," she whispered. "And now they will find you too." Aaron's pulse quickened. He had no idea who they were, but he could hear them coming closer. Soldiers, maybe hunters. Their steps were sharp, loud, without mercy. The alien girl looked at him one last time. Her eyes burned with a strange light. "Human," she said, her voice trembling. "You don't know what you started. Your words cannot be taken back. They have already changed everything." Aaron swallowed hard. His throat was dry. He could not fully understand what she meant, but he knew one thing. His journey was no longer about exploring empty ruins. It had just become something far greater. The footsteps grew louder. The walls shook. The air filled with tension. Aaron stood beside her, and though fear filled his heart, he did not step away. For reasons he could not explain, he trusted her, and maybe, just maybe, she trusted him too. The shadows reached the doorway. Figures with weapons raised. Their armor glistened under the broken lights. And in that moment, as danger surrounded them, Aaron realized the truth. The simple act of calling an alien girl beautiful had set in motion a storm that would shake the galaxy itself. The echo of heavy boots shook the broken station. Soldiers marched closer, their armor shining in the weak light. Aaron stood frozen, his blaster ready. The alien girl looked terrified, yet there was something else in her eyes, something he could not read. "Who are they?" Aaron whispered. "They are hunters from my empire," she said softly. "They came for me. They will not leave until I am taken." Her voice cracked as if the thought alone broke her. Aaron's mind raced. He had seen soldiers before, but these footsteps sounded different, like machines mixed with flesh, cruel and unstoppable. "What do they want with you?" Aaron asked. The alien girl hesitated. Her silver-like skin glowed faintly, the strange lines across her body still pulsing with light. "It is not what they want," she finally whispered. "It is what you did. Your words awakened the mark." Aaron's heart pounded. "The mark?" She slowly moved her hand, pointing to the glowing veins of light spreading across her chest and arms. They looked alive, shimmering like fire. "No one was meant to see this," she said. "No one was meant to call me beautiful." That word in our language is a key. It unlocks bloodlines tied to the old prophecy. Aaron's grip on his blaster tightened. Prophecy, bloodlines, curses. It all sounded like a story, but the fear in her eyes made him believe. "What does the prophecy say?" Aaron asked carefully. She shook her head. "If I speak it aloud, they will hear it. The Empire, the Guardians, even the stars seem to listen. But know this, human. Your words bind me now. You are part of it whether you want or not." The sound of soldiers grew louder. Aaron looked down the dark corridor and saw red lights sweeping the walls, scanners searching for life. The alien girl grabbed his arm suddenly. Her touch burned cold, yet it felt steady. "We must run," she said firmly. Aaron nodded. Together they moved quickly through the broken station. Their footsteps echoed against hollow metal. The shadows of the soldiers stretched closer. They ducked into a hidden passage, sliding through narrow doors. Inside, the walls were covered in strange carvings, glowing faintly like the lines on her skin. Aaron touched them gently. They felt warm, alive. "What is this place?" Aaron asked. "It is older than the Empire," she said. "A place built by my ancestors before memory. They left warnings carved in stone. They left secrets to hide from those who would use the power for war." Aaron looked around. The carvings looked like stars, galaxies, and strange creatures he could not name. "And this power, it is inside you?" Her eyes lowered. "Yes, but I never wanted it. I was only a shadow, hiding, waiting for my life to pass quietly. Then you called me beautiful, and the shadows broke." Aaron stared at her. He felt guilt rising inside him. "I didn't know," he said quietly. She smiled sadly, a smile filled with pain. "You were not supposed to know, but now the galaxy will know. They will hunt us because prophecy says a human word can awaken the one who changes the Empire forever." The ground shook suddenly. Dust rained from above. The soldiers had found a way inside the hidden passage. Their heavy steps and mechanical growls filled the tunnels. Aaron raised his blaster. "We can't fight." But she shook her head quickly. "You cannot fight them all. Even I cannot control this power yet. If I try, it might destroy us both." "Then what do we do?" Aaron asked. She closed her eyes for a moment, her glowing skin brightening. The markings spread wider, reaching her neck and face. Her voice trembled. "We go deeper. There's a chamber where the truth sleeps. If you see it, you will understand, and maybe then we will survive." Aaron followed her as they ran deeper into the station. The walls narrowed. The carvings glowed brighter. It felt as if the station itself was alive, watching them. Behind them, the sound of metal boots closed in. Blaster fire scorched the walls. The hunters shouted in a language Aaron could not understand, but the tone was clear. Anger, hunger, the need to capture. They reached a large doorway carved from black stone. The alien girl placed her hand on it. The markings on her skin connected with the carvings, and the doorway cracked open with a deep echo. Inside, the chamber glowed with pale blue light. Strange machines floated silently, and in the center, a crystal pulsed like a beating heart. Aaron stepped closer, his eyes wide. "What is that?" "The heart of memory," she whispered. It remembers everything. It remembers the prophecy. It remembers what was lost. If you see it, you will know why your words cannot be undone. She turned to him, her glowing eyes meeting his. Are you ready? Aaron swallowed hard. He felt fear, but also something else. Curiosity, courage, a strange connection to her. Yes, he said. The hunters were almost at the door. Their shouts grew louder. But at that moment, the crystal in the chamber flared with light. Surrounding Aaron and the alien girl, the world dissolved into brightness. And Aaron realized he was about to learn a truth that could change the galaxy forever. The chamber of light swallowed Aaron and the alien girl. The walls of the station disappeared, replaced by endless stars. Aaron felt weightless. Floating between galaxies, the crystal pulsed brighter, sending waves of energy through his chest. He looked at her. She was glowing stronger than ever, her silver skin shining, her hair floating like it was made of light. Her eyes met his, but they were no longer just eyes. They looked like twin galaxies burning inside her. Aaron, she said softly, her voice echoing in the empty star field. Now you see why your words cannot be undone. You have called me beautiful, and by doing so, you have bound yourself to me. Aaron's breath caught. Bound? She nodded slowly. The prophecy speaks of a bond between my kind and a human, a bond that will shatter the chains of the empire. My people believe it is dangerous. They will destroy me to stop it, and they will destroy you because you are now part of it. Aaron clenched his fists. Fear twisted inside him. But there was something else too. Anger. He hated the thought of her being hunted only because of a word he had spoken with honesty. You don't deserve this, he said firmly. If they want to kill me, let them try, but they will not take you. Her face softened. A small spark of hope flickered in her eyes. You don't understand. If I choose you, if I stay with you, the prophecy begins. The galaxy will burn, armies will rise, worlds will fall. I will become something I never wanted to be. Aaron's heart pounded. He could hear the faint echo of the soldiers outside the chamber, pounding against the black doorway. He knew time was running out. Then you have to decide, Aaron said. You can hand me over and stop this prophecy, or you can choose to fight, to stay with me, but either way, the choice is yours. Her hands trembled. She had hidden for so long, lived in shadows, running from the weight of her bloodline. But now, because of one human's words, she had to face it. I was born in chains, she whispered. My people said I was a vessel. Nothing more. They told me to never be seen, never be touched, never be loved, but you looked at me. You saw me as something more. That is why it is so hard to let you go. Aaron took a step closer. His voice was steady. Then don't choose me. The chamber shook violently. The doorway cracked. Soldiers forced their way inside, their armor glowing red. Weapons raised. Their leader stepped forward, his voice booming. Princess Sarai, surrender at once. Aaron's head snapped toward her. Princess? She closed her eyes, pain flashing across her face. Yes, she whispered. I am heir to the throne of the empire, and that is why my beauty is cursed. For beauty in my line means awakening, power, and destruction. The soldiers raised their weapons. The human must die. He has spoken the forbidden word. His life is forfeit. Aaron lifted his blaster, aiming at the soldiers. His hand shook, but he did not lower the weapon. He knew he could not win, but he would not back down. Sarai's body trembled with glowing light. The markings spread like fire. Her power pressed against the air, cracking the ground beneath them. She looked at Aaron, her voice breaking. If I use this power, I may lose myself, but if I do nothing, you will die. Aaron met her gaze. Then let me decide with you. Don't fight for me. Fight with me. For the first time, she smiled. Not a sad smile, but one filled with courage. Her eyes blazed. She raised her hands, and light erupted from her body. The soldiers staggered back, blinded. Their weapons cracked in their hands. The crystal in the chamber pulsed in rhythm with her. Amplifying her energy, the leader shouted orders, but his voice was drowned in thunder. Aaron stood beside her, shielding her from blasts that broke through the storm. He fired his blaster at the soldiers, each shot echoing through the glowing chamber. He was no warrior, but in that moment he fought like one. Sarai's voice rose above the chaos, echoing across the chamber. "I choose," she declared. Her eyes met Aaron's. "I choose him." The crystal exploded in light. The soldiers were thrown against the walls. Their armor shattered. The entire station groaned as if the choice had awakened something deep beneath its foundations. Aaron could barely see through the brightness. His ears rang with thunder. But through the storm, he felt her hand grip his tightly. When the light faded, the soldiers were gone, scattered into the void beyond the chamber. Only Aaron and Sarai remained, breathing heavily, standing close, bound together. Sarai lowered her head, her voice quiet but strong. "The prophecy has begun, and now, nothing will ever be the same." Aaron tightened his hold on her hand, his chest still burning from the energy. "Then let it begin," he said. The crystal pulsed once more, and the chamber walls cracked open, revealing a hidden path leading deeper into the station. Sarai's eyes glowed as she looked at it. "It leads to the heart of the ruins, to the place where the old war began. If we go there, you will see the truth of what you started." Aaron nodded, fear and excitement mixing inside him. He knew the galaxy was about to change, but he also knew one thing for certain. He would not let her face it alone. Together, they stepped into the new path, as the ruins whispered with voices of the past, and the future trembled at their choice. The hidden path stretched before them, carved from stone older than any empire. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, whispering with a voice Aaron could almost hear. Each step echoed, as if the ruins themselves were awake. Sarai walked ahead, her silver skin glowing brighter with every step. The lines across her body pulsed like living fire. Aaron followed close, his blaster still in hand, but he knew the real danger was not only the soldiers. It was the power rising inside her. "Are you all right?" Aaron asked. She did not answer at first. Her hand shook as she touched the glowing wall. The stone lit brighter at her touch. Feeding her energy, her voice trembled. "It is too strong. Every moment it grows. I cannot control it." Aaron stepped closer. "Then let me help you." Her eyes met his, sharp and filled with fear. "You cannot. Human bodies cannot carry this power. If I lose control, even you will burn." The ground rumbled beneath them. The walls cracked as if her words made the ruins respond. Aaron grabbed her shoulders, steadying her. "Listen to me. You are not alone anymore. If this power destroys you, then I will be here until the end." Her breath caught. Her glowing eyes softened. For a moment, she forgot the chains of prophecy, forgot the curse, and felt only the weight of his words. But then the silence shattered. The sound of metal boots echoed behind them. More soldiers had survived the storm, their armor scorched but unbroken. They raised their weapons, red beams cutting through the dark. Sarai turned quickly, her hands lifted, and light burst from her palms like a storm of fire and lightning. The soldiers screamed as their armor cracked. Their weapons melted in their hands. Aaron shielded his eyes, the brightness burning like a second sun. When it ended, the hallway was silent. The soldiers lay scattered, defeated. The air smelled of ash and metal. Aaron lowered his arm and stared at her. Her chest rose and fell sharply. Her glowing markings spread across her whole body now. She looked less like a girl and more like a star wearing human form. Aaron's voice shook. "Sarai, are you still you?" She looked at her hands, trembling. "I do not know," she whispered. "This power was never meant to wake inside me. My ancestors locked it away for a reason, and now, because of you, it is free." Aaron felt guilt press against his chest, but he shook his head. "No, not because of me, because of us. You chose to fight, you chose me." Her lips trembled, a tear of silver light rolled down her cheek. "And now the galaxy will pay the price." Before Aaron could answer, the ground shook violently. A deep roar echoed from below. The walls split open, and blue fire erupted from the cracks. Sarai staggered, clutching her head. "It is calling to me, the heart of the ruins. It knows I am awake." Aaron held her tightly, guiding her as the path opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling stretched like a sky of stone, filled with carvings of stars. In the center, a massive machine floated, its shape like a throne made of light and shadow. Sarai's body pulsed brighter, drawn to it. Aaron tried to hold her back, but her steps grew heavier, as if the throne itself pulled her closer. "What is it?" Aaron shouted over the roar of energy. Her voice broke. "It is the seat of ascension, the place where the rulers of my empire were chosen. If I sit upon it, the awakening completes. I will become what they feared, what they hunted." Aaron pulled her back. "Then don't, we'll find another way." Her eyes filled with tears, glowing like liquid stars. "There is no other way. The power grows until it consumes me. If I do not take the seat, I will lose myself. And if I lose myself, the galaxy will drown in fire." Aaron's heart pounded. He looked at her. This girl who was both fragile and unstoppable, hunted and destined. He wanted to save her, but he did not know how. The chamber shook harder. The throne pulsed, calling her name in a language Aaron could not understand. Sarai screamed, her body glowing so brightly it hurt to look. Aaron wrapped his arms around her, holding on even as her skin burned like flame. "Sarai," he shouted, "listen to me. You are not a curse. You are not a weapon. You are you, and that is enough." Her cries softened, her glowing eyes focused on him. "Why do you not fear me?" "Because," Aaron said firmly, "I see you, not the prophecy, not the empire, you." Her body trembled. The light calmed slightly, but the throne still called. Her choice was before her, to surrender to destiny or to fight for herself. Slowly, she pulled away from Aaron. Her steps carried her toward the throne. Aaron's chest tightened. Fear clawed at him. "Sarai, wait." She turned her head slightly, her glowing eyes meeting his. "If I sit, I may never be the same, but if I don't, the galaxy dies. This is my awakening, Aaron, and you must decide too. Will you stay beside me, even if I'm no longer the girl you met?" The chamber filled with roaring energy. The choice hung heavy in the air. Aaron's voice shook, but he answered without doubt, "Wherever it leads, I will stay." Sarai's lips curved into a faint smile. Her tears glowed as she whispered, "Then we face it together." She placed her hand on the throne, and the chamber erupted in light so bright it swallowed everything. The light from the throne faded slowly. The chamber was quiet again. Only the sound of Aaron's heavy breathing filled the air. Sarai stood in front of the seat of ascension, her body glowing less now, but her eyes still carried fire. She looked changed, stronger, yet distant. Aaron stepped closer. "Are you all right?" Her gaze shifted to him. Her voice was soft but heavy. "I am not the same. The throne has awakened me fully. My power is no longer sleeping, but it frightens me, Aaron. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of myself." Aaron reached out, touching her arm gently. "Then don't stand alone. We face it together, remember?" Her lips trembled into the smallest smile. But before she could speak, a new voice echoed through the chamber, deep and familiar. "You should not have touched the throne." Aaron turned sharply, his blaster raised. A figure stepped from the shadows of the chamber entrance, tall, armored, his silver eyes glowing like Sarai's. His face carried the same markings, but older, sharper. Sarai froze. "Uncle Varen." Aaron's chest tightened. The man's voice carried authority, like one used to giving orders. "So it is true. The forbidden word was spoken, and you let it bind you. You chose a human. You chose destruction." Sarai shook her head. "Uncle, please, it is not what you think. He is not the enemy." But Varen raised his hand, silencing her, his glowing eyes locked on Aaron. "It is always the same. Humans bring chaos. Their words poison our bloodline. Your father trusted them once, and he died for it. And now you repeat his mistake." Aaron narrowed his eyes. "I don't know what you think I did, but I'm not leaving her. Not now. Not ever." Varen's lips curved into a cold smile. Such bravery from a fragile creature. But bravery does not change destiny. The prophecy says your bond will shatter the Empire. I cannot let that happen. Sarai stepped between them. Uncle, no. The Empire is broken already. The chains they put on me, on all of us, must end. This is not destruction. It is freedom. Varen's voice thundered. Freedom? You call it freedom to give yourself to him? To let a human guide your fate? You are royalty, Sarai. You are meant to rule, not to fall for an outsider. Aaron's chest burned with anger, but Sarai's pain was sharper than his rage. She looked at Varen with wide, pleading eyes. You raised me when my father died. You told me to hide, to survive. Was it all only to betray me now? Varen's gaze flickered. For a moment something human passed through his eyes, but then it hardened again. I did what I had to. I protected you until you became too dangerous to exist. And now, Sarai, I must end this before the galaxy burns. Aaron lifted his blaster. You'll have to go through me first. Varen laughed, the sound cold. Do you really think you can stop me, human? You cannot even hold her power. You are nothing but a spark in the storm. But Sarai's body flared with light. She stepped forward, her voice shaking. If you harm him, you will fight me, uncle. The chamber pulsed with their power, the ruins themselves groaning at the clash. Aaron felt the air tighten, every breath heavy. Varen's voice dropped low, almost sad. So it is true. You have chosen him. You would turn against your own blood for this human. Sarai whispered. I choose him, not because of prophecy, not because of destiny, but because he saw me as I am. Not a weapon, not a curse, but a person. Varen's eyes darkened. His hand rose, energy crackling in his palm like a storm. Then you leave me no choice. Lightning burst from Varen's hand. Sarai raised her arms, her own light clashing against his. The chamber shook violently, carvings on the walls shattering. Energy storms exploded between them. Aaron staggered back, shielding himself from the power. The clash was not only of light and fire. It was of love and betrayal, of family and freedom. Sarai screamed as she pushed against her uncle's power, her voice echoing. I will not let you take this from me. Varen's face twisted with rage. Then you are lost. Aaron's heart pounded. He could not fight with power like theirs, but he would not stand aside. He looked around the chamber, his eyes landing on the crystal that had brought them here. It pulsed faintly, as if waiting. He ran toward it, touching the surface. The crystal flared, sending a wave of light through the chamber. Varen staggered, his energy faltering. Sarai pushed harder, her light overwhelming his storm. Varen fell to his knees, his armor cracked, his eyes dimmed. He looked at Sarai with sorrow. You have chosen your path. Sarai's glow dimmed as she lowered her hands. Tears shimmered on her cheeks. Goodbye, uncle. But before he collapsed fully, Varen whispered one last warning. The Empire knows they will come, and when they do, neither of you will survive. His body dissolved into fragments of light. Fading into the air, silence fell. The chamber still trembled, but only faintly. Aaron ran to Sarai, holding her shoulders. Are you all right? She leaned into him, exhausted. He was the only family I had left, and now even he is gone. Aaron's grip tightened. You're not alone. You still have me. Her glowing eyes lifted to his, filled with sorrow and strength. Then we must move quickly. The betrayal of my uncle means the Empire is closer than ever, and when they arrive, we will face the storm together. Aaron nodded, his heart heavy but unbroken. The betrayal had shown him something. This was no longer only Sarai's fight. It was his as well, and no matter what came, he would not let her face it without him. The ruins trembled long after Varen faded into light. The silence that followed was heavy, carrying the weight of betrayal and the promise of war. Sarai leaned against the cracked wall, her glowing lines dimmed, exhaustion pulling at her. Aaron stood close, watching her carefully. You need to rest, he whispered. Her eyes lifted, weak but determined. There is no time. The Empire felt his fall. They know I have awakened. They will come with armies, fleets, everything they have. Aaron tightened his grip on his blaster. His chest burned with unease. He had fought soldiers, but an empire? That was beyond anything he could imagine. Still, he looked at her and forced courage into his voice. Then we fight them. Sarai shook her head, sadness filling her voice. You do not understand. Their power is endless. Their fleets fill the skies. They will not stop until I am destroyed. And you are human, fragile against their storm. Aaron stepped closer. Maybe I'm fragile. Maybe I'm small. But that doesn't mean I'll walk away. You said it yourself. You are not alone anymore. Her lips trembled. A tear of light touched her cheek. She wanted to argue, but instead she reached for his hand, their fingers locking together. The touch steadied her. The chamber around them groaned, new cracks spreading across the walls. The crystal pulsed again, sending waves of light across the carvings. Suddenly, the images on the wall shifted, showing scenes of vast battles, fleets colliding, alien armies burning. Aaron's eyes widened. What is this? Sarai stared at the carvings with dread. It is the prophecy written in stone. The last time my ancestors awakened, the galaxy drowned in war. That is why they buried this place. That is why they hunted me when I was born. They feared this day. The images burned brighter. One showed Sarai standing with a human at her side. Behind them, flames of war consumed entire worlds. Aaron's chest tightened. He knew who the human was meant to be. He turned to her. This doesn't mean it has to happen again. Prophecies are not chains. They are warnings. But before she could reply, a deep rumble shook the ground. Dust rained from above. Outside, the sky darkened. The Empire had arrived. Sarai closed her eyes, her voice shaking. They bring their fleets. They will destroy everything to erase me. Aaron grabbed her hand tighter. Then we don't give them the chance. We end this on our terms. She opened her eyes, glowing brighter now. The fear inside her shifted into fire. There's one weapon hidden in these ruins. The Blade of Stars. It was forged when my people first walked the galaxy. If I claim it, I can fight the Empire. But if I fail, it will consume me. Aaron's heart raced. He hated how often her choices carried death. Still, he nodded. Then we find it. Together, they left the chamber, the tunnels shaking as if the ruins themselves prepared for battle. When they emerged, Aaron stopped in his tracks. Above the broken station, the void of space burned red. The Empire's fleet had arrived. Dozens of warships hovered like dark mountains, their cannons glowing with deadly light. The sight stole his breath, but Sarai's expression was sharper, filled with sorrow. They will destroy the station first, then hunt us across the stars, she whispered. Suddenly, a voice filled the ruins, booming from the fleet above. Sarai of the bloodline, surrender at once. The human will be executed. The galaxy will be spared. Aaron felt anger burn in his chest. He shouted upward, though he knew they could not hear him. They will never have you. Sarai's hand squeezed as tightly. Then we must be faster than them. They ran through the ruins, deeper and deeper, following the carvings of stars on the walls. Every step the ground shook. Every moment the sky outside roared with engines and weapons charging. Finally, they reached a vast hall. At its center floated a blade unlike any weapon Aaron had ever seen. It was forged of pure light, its shape shifting between sword and spear, humming with energy older than stars. Sarai stopped at the edge, her breath shaking. The Blade of Stars. Aaron looked at her. Then take it before the Empire finds us. Her glowing eyes fixed on the weapon, fear and desire warring inside her. If I claim it, Aaron, I may not be me anymore. The power inside will fuse with my bloodline completely. I could become something else, something no longer Sarai. Aaron stepped in front of her, his voice steady. Listen to me. You are Sarai. Not a prophecy, not a weapon, not an empire's tool. If you take it, hold on to who you are, hold on to us. Her tears shimmered again, but she nodded slowly. Then I will try. She stepped forward, her hand stretching toward the blade. The hall flared with light. The weapon spun, screaming with ancient power. Her fingers touched it, and energy exploded like a star. Aaron staggered back, shielding his face. The hall shook violently. Carvings shattered. The Empire's voice thundered again outside, demanding surrender, but Sarai did not hear. She stood in the center of the storm, her hand gripping the blade of stars. Her body blazed brighter than ever. Her markings burned like fire. Her hair flowed like liquid light. She lifted the blade high, and its voice roared across the ruins, echoing into the skies. Aaron's eyes widened, his chest filled with awe and fear. He whispered, "Sarai." She turned to him, her voice carrying both human warmth and cosmic thunder. "The storm has risen, and I will face it with you." Outside, the Empire's fleet charged their cannons. The first blast tore through the outer walls of the station. Fire and metal rained, but Sarai stood tall, the blade of stars glowing in her hands. Aaron knew the war was no longer coming. It was already here, and at its heart stood the girl he once called beautiful. The ruins shook as the Empire's fleet unleashed fire across the skies. Explosions lit the void, sending waves of red and gold through the broken station. Aaron shielded his eyes as fragments of stone rained from above. At the center of the chaos stood Sarai, the blade of stars burning in her hands. Her silver skin blazed with markings of fire, her eyes glowing like galaxies. She looked both human and beyond human, fragile and unstoppable. Aaron stared at her in awe and fear. "Sarai," he whispered. She turned her head, her voice deeper now, layered with thunder. "They will not stop. Aaron, they will burn this place until nothing remains, and then they will burn every world that dares to protect me." Aaron stepped closer, his voice steady even as the ground trembled. "Then show them you are not afraid. Show them you are more than what they fear." Her lips curved slightly, but her eyes held sorrow. "If I do this, I will not be the same. The blade will change me, perhaps beyond return." Aaron grabbed her hand, feeling its burning heat, but refusing to let go. "Then remember this, no matter how much you change, no matter how much the galaxy trembles, you are still Sarai. You are the girl I called beautiful." Her glowing eyes softened. The storm inside her stilled for a moment. She nodded slowly. "Then let it be so." She lifted the blade, and the ruins erupted in light. The power surged upward, breaking through the station walls. A beam of pure energy shot into the void, striking the Empire's fleet. Warships shattered like glass, explosions scattering across the sky. But the fleet was vast. More ships closed in, surrounding the station like wolves. Their cannons charged again, filling the void with crimson fire. Sarai raised the blade higher. Her body trembled as if the weapon demanded more than she could give. Aaron stepped beside her, gripping her arm, lending her his strength. "You're not alone. Remember that." Her voice shook. "Then let us end this together." She swung the blade, and its light expanded into a wave that stretched across the sky. The Empire's weapons fired, but their beams dissolved in the storm of her power. Ships broke apart, spinning into flames. The void turned into fire and lightning. The Empire's voice thundered across comms, desperate, furious. "Sarai, stop this. You will destroy us all." Sarai's eyes narrowed. Her voice carried across the stars. "No, you destroyed yourselves the moment you tried to chain me." Aaron's heart pounded. He could barely stand in the storm. His body felt heavy, but his eyes never left her. In that moment, he understood. She was not only fighting for herself, she was fighting for every world that had lived under the Empire's shadow. The battle raged, ship after ship falling, but the cost was heavy. Sarai staggered, her glow flickering. Her hand shook on the blade. The weapon demanded more of her life, more of her soul. Aaron caught her as she fell to one knee. "Sarai, hold on." Her voice was weak, almost breaking. "If I stop now, they will rise again. If I keep going, I may not come back." Aaron's throat tightened. He looked into her glowing eyes. "Then listen to me. Don't fight for prophecy. Don't fight for destiny. Fight because you choose to. Fight because you want to be free." Her tears glowed as they slid down her cheeks. She whispered, "You always see me, Aaron, even when I cannot see myself." With the last of her strength, Sarai rose again. She lifted the blade of stars one final time. Her voice rang across the void. I am Sarai. I am not a weapon, not a curse. I am free. The blade answered with a roar of light, exploding into a storm that swallowed the fleet. Warships disintegrated, their fire dying into silence. The Empire's armada crumbled in moments. The ruins trembled violently, the power of the blade burning brighter than ever. Aaron ran to her, catching her as the light consumed the hall. Her body collapsed into his arms, her glow fading. Sarai, he shouted, shaking her gently. Her eyes fluttered open, weak but still shining. Her voice was soft, fragile. Did it end? Aaron's eyes filled with tears. Yes, you ended it. You changed everything. She smiled faintly. Not me, Aaron, us. The blade of stars dissolved into fragments of light, scattering into the air like falling stars. The ruins grew silent, the storm fading. Above them, the sky was empty. The Empire's fleet was gone. Aaron held her tightly, breathing heavily. He looked into her eyes and whispered, "You are beautiful, Sarai. Not because of prophecy, not because of power, but because you chose to be you." Her glowing eyes filled with tears. She rested her head against his chest, whispering with her last breath of strength, "And your words changed everything." The ruins stood quiet. The storm ended. The galaxy trembled not in fear, but in the beginning of something new.